Don't tell anyone your plans to start selling digital products online. Now, that's kind of ironic coming from me, right? Considering that in more recent times, that's mostly what I've been talking about, right? Selling digital products online. Well, I need to qualify that statement, right? Or I need to be a little bit more specific when I say anyone. When I say anyone, I'm referring more so to your immediate friends and family, right? The people around you in your day-to-day life, right? When it comes to like online and talking about it, that's a little different because online we're dealing with, general public and sense, like people that we don't know. And when I say online, I don't mean like like your social media platforms where you have your actual, day-to-day friends and all that connected to. No, that's just as bad as telling people who around you, right? When I say online, I'm talking about like what I have here, like this YouTube channel, right? I don't tell, nobody knows about my YouTube channel, right? My friends, my family, none of them know anything about it, right? And there is a specific reason for that, right? Especially when you're just getting started and this is like a new, and this should not go only for just selling digital products. This goes for whether it's starting a YouTube channel or any major idea, right? Or anything that you want to get started with, that especially if it's something that is outside of the norm or what's considered conventional, so to speak, right? In terms of like, go to school, get a job, right? All that type of stuff, right? What we do for work, right? The reason for this, right? Especially let's go back to like digital products, which is what I've been talking about more in more recent times, is because a lot of times, right, the people around you, they don't know about this stuff, right? They typically might not necessarily, especially if it's like this online related stuff. A lot of people, like, think about it in your day-to-day life. How many people do you know in your day-to-day life? I'm not talking about people that you've met online because of what you've started doing online. How many people in your day-to-day life do you know that are your friends, your family, that you communicate with on a regular basis, that actually do the same thing or are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do online? Okay, not chances are not many. In fact, chances are none. Okay, and a lot of times the people around us, right, our closest, the people, they don't, a lot of times they don't necessarily know about this stuff. They might have heard about it, but they don't know enough about it to give you feedback or to give you an informed opinion about what they think, right? And if this is something that you actually want to do, right, and especially if you're on the fence about it or you're not sure, but there's something in the back that's really pushing you, and you know like this is something that you want to do, the last thing that you need is any kind of negative reinforcement or anybody telling you that it is like a waste of time or all that stuff is a scam or if it doesn't work, right? There's a reason why you decided to go after it, right? Like, like these people, all the people who might be trying to discourage you from, following your dreams or following your passions or whatever the case might be, right? When it comes to like selling digital products online or just, physical products, just doing stuff online, right? Online business, right? A lot of times they're not, they don't know about this stuff. They haven't watched like the 50, 100, 200 plus videos of information that you have watched, right? They haven't been around other people who are successfully doing exactly what it is that you're trying to do, right? They haven't been around examples, proven examples of people who have started from nothing just like you and have turned out to be a success, right? They don't know about those people, right? So they're not able to see exactly what it is that you're seeing, right? They're not able to see that light at the end of the tunnel that you're able to see. And so in telling them, while it feels great, right? It feels great to, to want to tell your friends and family and the people around you that this is what this is what you've decided you want to do, with the hope that they will give you that pat of approval on the back and all that. it's not necessarily it's actually detrimental. Funny enough, like I know there have been scientific studies that have proven, right, that have shown that when it's actually detrimental to your to to the chances of your success when you tell when you announce and you tell all your the people around you that your plans, right, like what you're trying to do, if they happen, like this sounds counterintuitive, right? Even if they encourage you, okay? Even like if you get that pat on the back of approval, that, oh yes, go ahead, like there's a little high that you get, which essentially takes away from the motivation that you otherwise would have had if you hadn't gotten that pat on the back, right? If you had just decided to move in silence, right, and work quietly. When you tell and you announce to the people around you, and then let's say they do happen to encourage you, right? So basically you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, whether if they encourage you or if they don't encourage you, right? When you have that little encouragement, right, you get this high, right? You get this high, and then all of a sudden that high in a way takes away from the motivation that you otherwise would have had to pursue that goal, pursue that dream, pursue that plan, right? Okay, so there's that side. But then on the flip side, if they don't encourage you and they discourage you, or they talk down, or they tell you that it's not good, or that you're wasting your time, that all that stuff is garbage, or it's a scam, whatever, you've heard it all already, right? That's the last thing you need either, right? Like, especially if your mind is shaky as to whether this is something that you will necessarily have success with, right? If you have your doubts, all with like anything, all of us starting something new, if it's something you've never done before, even if you know that it's possible and you know in your mind that it's something that's going to happen for you, there's always that little bit of doubt, right? There's always that little bit of doubt that makes you wonder, like, but what if it doesn't happen for me, right? What if it doesn't happen for me? I've been trying for so long, and I see it works for other people. It doesn't work. It's not working for me. What if it never works for me, right? That tiny little voice in your back needs to stay buried. The last thing you need is people on the outside feeding that voice and reinforcing whatever that voice is telling you, okay? So that's why it's best to like move in silence and let your success make all the noise, and make all the noise in public for you. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So that's just basically the way I say. And again, like I said, it's just, I'm only saying this with reference to more so, especially with digital products, starting this, selling digital products online and all this online business type stuff, and starting YouTube channels or whatever the case may be. I'm saying it more specific to that just because that's the field in which I'm in, right? And it's unconventional, right? It's not really mainstream. It's not something that the people in the general public necessarily know a lot about, right? So it's always going to be met with some degree of skepticism or doubt and all that type of stuff. Okay. So, you tell people you're not necessarily going to get the best reaction, and you don't need that. Okay. You really, 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 really do not need that. So that's something to keep in mind. So I was being more specific with the realm of online business, but this very well could go for pretty much anything, right? Anything you're trying to do, whether it's outside of online business, whatever the case may be, just whatever you're trying to do, move in silence, right? Move in silence and go after it. And then if things work out, when things work out, let me put it that way, when things work out, then the success will speak for itself. Okay. And here's another thing I just remember, like, especially when you're dealing with people who aren't necessarily on board with what you're doing, if they're a little skeptical, if they think that what you're doing is just a waste of time or it's not happening, there is no amount of convincing, right? There's nothing, a lot of times, right? 9 times out of 10, there's not much you can really say to get these people to actually see what you're seeing or understand what you're doing, okay? There is one thing. There's one thing which I always call the universal currency that everybody understands, right? There's the one thing that will do the talking for you and will change minds, okay? And it's actually succeeding. And when you start making that money, right? Money is the universal currency that everybody understands. Everybody, as long as it's not shady money, okay? Like, we don't want dirty money. We don't want any kind of funny business, funky money. We want legitimate, good, hard-earned, proper money, right? Everybody understands that. That is a universal currency that everybody understands. Once that starts coming in and you're succeeding and things are happening, you're going to have the same people that maybe necessarily might have been questioning everything you're doing and all that. Chances are they may come to you and start asking, hey, but what is this stuff that you're actually doing? They might want to start learning it too, so be ready for that. So anyway, I just wanted to give that little bit of encouragement. I don't know who needs to hear it, but if you are one of those people, I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you, especially if you're struggling, especially if things are not working out for you, keep at it, okay? Like, you're only gonna fail if you stop, right? When you quit, the moment you quit, that's when you fail. But as long as you keep going at it, make all the mistakes that you need to make, right? Because those are all opportunities to learn, and you will always get better with each and every mistake, with each and every failure, right? You'll be more knowledgeable, and you just keep piling on, adding on, day after day, becoming better than the person you were the day before. And before you know it, one day you're going to wake up and you won't even recognize yourself, okay? So don't give up. Keep at it. Keep going. Now, if you're one of those who has been interested in getting started with selling digital products online, and you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start, and you do want to start, I have a link, first link in the description below this video. It will give you access to it's a free video that you can watch that will give you a lot more information as to where, how, like, what digital marketing, specifically selling digital products, can do for you, right? And how to get started with it and get the right solid foundation to ensure that you have a long-term success, not a here today, gone tomorrow type thing. If you want to learn, first link in the description below this video. And if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, put them in the comment section below. I will be sure to answer. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video. You could have been out there doing anything with anybody else, but you took the time to watch this video and made it all the way till the end here with me. And for that, I'm extremely thankful. I'll catch you in my next video. Ciao.